Hello everybody and welcome back to An Art Life Worth Living. Today we are doing a marker review on the Ohuhu Pastel brush markers. These markers just came out just a few weeks ago and I finally got my hands on them, and judging by the packaging, they are looking very promising. So one of the biggest things that I love about these markers is the quality in the actual product. The labels are printed on. The roll prevent is actually extremely good. It's much better than my Copic ciaos. And I also enjoy that the nibs are very high quality. The brush nib is quite flexible and it's practically identical to my Copic ciao, and the chisels, they're a chisel. I also appreciate that the caps do have the color name and the color code printed on top, and they do fit on the other side of the cap, so you won't lose them, because I almost lost mine underneath my stove. In terms of the performance, they lay down pretty even, especially for the paper I'm using because it's pretty thick. I use the Canson multimedia sketch paper. I would honestly consider investing in proper and high quality paper if you're going to be using any medium, to be honest. The paper makes the difference when it comes to the quality, so if you're using copy paper, don't expect these to work that well, opposed to if you're using marker paper. I'd say experiment with whatever paper works best for you, and these markers will perform the best they can. But judging on just my paper, make sure you swatch on whatever paper you're going to use, because then you'll be able to understand how these colors work on your paper. The colors were very smooth and vibrant, and I can see why people are in love with these Ohuhus. Like I said, the brush nib, it's very flexible, and that's coming from a person who uses watercolor brushes as my main medium. It feels like I'm painting with it, which makes it very comfortable. I also appreciate the chisel side because it comes out very smooth and it's easy to use, and you can get into nice corners when they aren't dried out like the Touch Twins I had. Sometimes my Copic ciaos, the chisel tip came a little more dry than the brush side, so I appreciate that these didn't do that. In terms of layering, these colors actually layer pretty well. I layered the gray and the pale lemon yellow, I think, and it turned into the exact color of her shirt, which I found fascinating, so I ended up layering the blue over that. So I actually ended up layering 4 colors on top of each other, and they mixed in very well. Nothing comes without cons, and my biggest thing is that they seem a lot more pastel than it is. The caps are actually far lighter and pretty inaccurate to the actual color that comes out of the barrel. One of my nibs actually came destroyed. I don't really know what happened, but at least it still puts the color down. The chisel seemed like it was pushed too hard in and they got all smushed. Now, I wouldn't really call this brush set pastels because most of the colors aren't. Now, if you put these up against normal colors, they will seem pastel, but if you're buying this set based off of the cap colors, you're going to be kind of disappointed. I'd say probably 15 out of the 48 are actually pastel, but compared to regular Ohuhus, they seem a lot more pastel when comparing the two. For my final thoughts, Ohuhu markers are actually pretty amazing. They have high quality inks and they're really just as good as Copics minus the refills. If Ohuhu could somehow get refills going, they would be honestly world record breaking in quality and cost for art supplies. I definitely recommend these as an add-on set, but if you are looking to get into coloring with markers, I definitely would recommend a different Ohuhu set, just because these colors really don't work that well by themselves in terms of creating art pieces. These are definitely worth the price if you already have any sort of Ohuhu set and you're just trying to add to your collection, but I definitely recommend Ohuhus. Anyways, up next we are talking about art goals. You can check out my sketchbook tour and see the progress from getting back into art after a 2-year break.